Hello, Gautam. How are you?
Yes, sir. Fine, sir.
Gautam, first of all, big congratulations to you for getting such good marks in GATE XC 2026.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
How many marks exactly are you getting?
Around 82.66, sir.
Oh, great, 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 great. And which sections did you opt for GATE XC?
Actually, solid mechanics and fluid mechanics.
Oh, solid mechanics you opted.
Yes, sir. And
Students
fluid.
tend to opt fluid mechanics and thermodynamics. Very
Yeah,
few make this choice of solid mechanics.
yeah. Actually, solid
But
mechanics.
this year solid mechanics was comparatively easier.
Yes, sir. This year, I felt after seeing the thermodynamics paper, I felt like compared to thermodynamics, solid mechanics is better. So I attempted that one. At that time, my decision I have taken. If I attempt in
Okay.
solid mechanics, I will get better marks.
So you didn't make your mind that I will choose these two sections. You
Uh,
opened the section, you saw the questions, and then you decided.
yeah, I prepared initially for all three subjects, sir, because anyway, mechanical I prepared. But after seeing the thermodynamics questions, some questions I understood, some are like very, very difficult. So at that time, I decided like I will go for the solid mechanics. Fluid mechanics is decided. Among solid mechanics and thermodynamics, I have to choose. So in the exam only, I have chosen.
Yeah, yeah. So this is something that we always suggest to the students who are attempting GATE XC, that you don't make your mind initially that you will choose only these two sections, because every year out of these three sections, one of the section is tougher compared to the other two, and it always changes, right? Sometimes it's solid mechanics, sometimes it's thermodynamics, sometimes it's fluid mechanics. So it is better to see the questions. It might take 5-10 minutes, but it's not a waste of time. It's a very good strategy, right? Yes, yes.
Right, sir. Right. Gautam, could you tell us what is your background here? Like, from where did you do your college, and afterwards, how did you prepare?
Actually, BTech I have done in mechanical, sir, from VNIT Nagpur, sir. That is
Okay.
NIT Nagpur. Afterwards, I worked for around 1 year in TCS and 1 year in BHL, sir. Then I
Okay.
proceeded for my masters in IISc Bangalore, sir, in mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
Then currently I am working on government R&D organization, sir. So this GATE XC I have taken basically to go for PhD, sir. So for going for PhD, because I was little off from my academic studies. So there, if I go for any IIT, again IISc also, if I go for PhD, the interview, this GATE XC will make them understand that my basics are intact. So that I need not again convince them again, I have to brush up my basics accordingly. So this helps me in such a way that I could go for PhD. So that is the thing.
Sir, I think that is really commendable that when you are already masters and then you are again preparing and then you are again appearing for exam, because I see PhD students when like MTech students, when they go for PhD, they hardly get more than 50% marks.
Yeah.
It has always been, but for you it has been really good. So Gautam, suggest us, like, how did you prepare? You must have prepared along with your job only, right?
Yes, sir. Along with the job I prepared. So
Okay.
I work in one division where it is majorly dominated by fluid mechanics, sir, like aerodynamics and fluid mechanics. So mostly I got interested in fluid mechanics and I want to pursue either like related to fluid structure interactions type of studies, and also when the subject I am going through in the job we will be working on some type of problems. But when we come to academics and seen the GATE syllabus, so first I have taken the standard textbooks there, but I felt it took long time actually again to recall all the subject. So some of my friends suggested you take some good test series, which I have taken from Physics Wallah and some other test series, so that I started attempting the topic test. Then I am finding like I am lacking at some type of basic academic concepts which I have studied long time back. So I started revising again. First give the exam, find out the loopholes where I am lacking, then again go and read the subject. So mostly topic tests are in such a way like 2 times I can attempt also, re-attempt. So first time attempting, I might get low marks. Then again, I go for the second test and I use it to improve my marks. So marks are one level, and further when I go for the other subject like engineering mechanics, when I go for again theory of machines, or engineering mechanics fundamentals are useful in theory of machines. So theory of machines wise, again I use it to revise same questions, and whatever basic material and some YouTube free material which I get, I use it to see, sir. So mostly I use it to initially depend on standard textbooks, but further I understood it will take long time. and the time whichever is available with respect to my job, and the time frame in which I have to prepare. Towards the end of the day, I used to get exhausted only most of the times. And in the job, whenever time I used to get, I used to see some questions, or I used to take printouts of the exam questions, old gate questions, or otherwise physics wala gate test series questions, mechanical and XE. Those used to, because luckily other test series I never seen like specifically for XE test series are given, but physics wala along with the mechanical, some full length XE test series are there. So there also I used to attempt all, like fluid mechanics, solid mechanics, and thermodynamics. Even though in the exam I could attempt only 2 sections, so I used to find out where I am lacking. So sometimes I used to feel strong in thermodynamics, sometimes I used to feel good in solid mechanics. But finally, I felt that with respect to the time when I proceed, these questions whichever I am attempting to test series have fine tuned myself.
Gautam,
Okay.
we always suggest our second year students that if you are preparing at such an early stage, it would be better for you to right now focus on GATE X.
Yes,
Third
sir.
year
Yes, sir.
attempt, GATE XE, you have to only study
Yeah.
a few subjects, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
then
sir.
in final year, you can write GATE Mechanical. So for
Yeah.
all those second year students, what would be your suggestion for preparation of GATE XE? Because they will really get benefit from your suggestions.
Yes, sir. Basically, even though actually we see only 2 subjects like fluid mechanics and solid mechanics, or fluid mechanics, thermodynamics. In the fluid mechanics, it's well and good. Like basic fluid mechanics is covered, and some applied fluid mechanics is covered up to some level. Unlike mechanical, where all the Francis turbine, Pelton wheel, all those will not come in XE. That is one advantage. And in fluid mechanics, whatever potential flow it comes, everything is covered. Luckily, mostly second year only. All fluid mechanics basics are covered in second year, and also solid mechanics, even the name is solid mechanics, in the engineering mechanics questions comes, vibration questions comes, theory of machine question comes, and anyway strength of materials question comes. So all that is covered in second year only. So I felt like when third year we are attempting, definitely we should concentrate from the second year onwards. Fluid mechanics and solid mechanics and thermodynamics basics will be there. Further in the third year, anyway, some extra thermodynamics, advanced thermodynamics things comes, which comes again in the XC. So I felt second year, when we are in the second year itself, when we are reading that subject itself, we should start preparing. I have seen in generally like physics wala has started some NIRMAAN course, which is
Yes,
for
yes.
from the beginning, like those who are aiming for 29. So people who are targeting that even 3-4 years down the line also, if they have chosen the target and try to pursue it from the second year, first year onwards, it will be good, because the competition is too high. Whatever branch we take, whatever gate paper today we take, because 2 papers we can attempt, and in each paper the competition is too high. So definitely, as early as you start, at the time when you are studying in the BTech itself, you will be clear about the concepts, so that you will see some gate questions and some again the your BTech whatever midterm questions, whatever end term questions, so that we will be in line, so that we will not struggle and find problems when we are preparing for actual gate exam, and the time will not be available towards the end, because it will become a rush always. Because nowadays, from the third year onwards, some people used to be preparing for placements also, some aptitude also. So you will be like fully chalked out. So that's why from the second year onwards, we should prepare better first for XC. Anyway, mechanical paper, XC paper, both we can write in the third year itself. So that XC we can become develop our strength. That is the thing I felt.
So, Gautam, tell us, like a lot of times students say, sir, that is it sufficient that if I have solved the PYQs, if I solved the DPPs, is it sufficient to get a good rank in GATE? So, what are your thoughts? Whether did you study only the PYQs and the questions which were there in the test series and DPP, or you took some other efforts and then did more questions on these subjects?
Obviously, sir, what I felt is XC paper or mechanical paper, if you see, like XC wise, if you see, some of the production and industry engineering questions also will be there. So there are also some basic sciences, general engineering is tested. Apart from that, if you see XC wise, fluid mechanics and solid mechanics is there in civil engineering also. So some civil engineering PYQs also it will help. So that way PYQs will make us ready at least for the 50% of the paper. But remaining 50 percentage, we have to fine tune ourselves by seeing other resources like test series and some engineering services questions also, especially conventional questions, which will strengthen our basics basically. Anyway, I am not eligible now to write the engineering services, But when I see the questions, I felt like people who prepare for the GATE exam or preliminary engineering services, that will form the baseline for getting in GATE exam more than 70 marks, 75 marks. Because there, once we go to the towards the top marks, the number of people who are getting the top marks becomes lower. Whereas everybody will get stuck in 50 marks, 45 to 50, like that only. So POQs will help up to some level, but few other extra resources. That way, if we start early, we'll get time to do it. Because when I taken the physics wala test series that year, even last year, whatever it is there also, and this year whatever it is I have taken also, specifically the time factor basically. So that's why if you have more time, you can look at more resources. But with respect to only PYQs, it will help up to some level only.
Right, right. Sir, approve, sir?
Gautam, I think your journey and your story will really inspire a lot of students to appear for GATE XE, because a lot of people think that GATE XE is very difficult to crack, and that's why they don't even pursue GATE XE in the first place. But even after doing job, you are getting time and you have prepared, so it will really inspire. And we really hope that you get a very good rank in GATE XE this year. And after the final results, we would really love to connect with you again so that we can talk more, and we can share your journey with our students. So thank you so much for taking your valuable time to talk to us. Thank you so much.